should be able to get that mag in, nothing, and then press the button, out it comes. Awesome. There you go, Darius. Lower is done. We are moving on to the upper. Can't wait for our new toolbox. Yes, that's right. The swamp deck is slowly getting upgraded. We're getting a toolbox so I don't have to keep running around and finding stuff. It'll be right here. So what are we doing with the upper? Well, we have his actual upper here. There's not a whole lot to do because the upper is pretty much complete. It is an arrow upper. So really all we're doing is we're adding a hand stop, putting his Radium Raptor in there. This new bolt carrier group from Brownells, which I'm really excited to see how this goes because I've never seen it. Well, not in person. I've never used one. So I might have to grab me one of these. Not only that, we have a Unity fast mount with a Holosun that's going to go on top. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So we're going to start with this guy. All right. So this is a black nitrite. It is a little oily, not bad. I kind of tend to like a little bit more, so we're going to fix that. But anytime you put in, get all this stuff out of my way, put in your bolt carrier group, your charging handle goes first because you have these little wings here that you have to line up on the upper receiver because otherwise this thing just doesn't work. It will not drop down and it will not go in all the way. So you have to find those grooves. Once you find them, that charging handle is going to fall down. It's going to let you move. Okay, so you're going to have to pull that out a little bit. We're about to put the bolt carrier group in. If you were to put the bolt carrier group in, you actually had the bolt right here. If this is pushed back, where if you notice how it can come out, if this is pushed back, this cam is going to hit off the upper receiver and it will not let you put it in. So you're always going to make sure you pull that out. I'm also just going to double check and look at it, make sure that there's no deficiencies or anything like that. It looks good. Tap like that to make sure firing pin doesn't fall out. All good. But we are going to add some lubrication to this guy. And we are doing it with the best stuff on the market. That's right. We're using that Clinton's oil. So I got one of their rags, their wipes, and I'm just going to wipe it on there where it's not saturated, but it has some really good lubrication on there because we want this thing to run good right out of the box. Well, boxes, but nonetheless, we're going to lubricate that. That's all nice and lubricated and make sure that bolt is out. There we go, bolt it out. Then I can literally just drop it in that groove, push everything forward, and we are now good to go. Okay, dust cover closed. Now, this is a functional upper receiver. Not going to be very accurate because we don't have an optic on it, but that's coming. We're going to get rid of this guy because I don't need it anymore. Okay. So before we put that optic on, we're going to go ahead and put on this Slate Black Industries finger catch is really what it is. But let's go ahead and get these pieces out. So now I got to base off of his old setup where he had that to figure out where we're going to put it. So let me grab that. All right, so there we go. We're going to just look. Okay, so that's pretty close. All right, I think I know where I want to put it based on his old one, even though he probably, if he does that, he has some short arms because, Jesus, that's going to be close. Nonetheless, we're going to put some Loctite on this guy. Okay, so now I got just a little bit of Loctite on the screw. I got to drop this screw through it, but I want to make sure that I have the right key for it. I feel like it's going to be a little bigger than that. Yep. not another unique one, man. See, this is the thing. These industries need to come together. I'm tired of having to have a whole freaking 3 different sets of damn Allen keys just to put stuff together, and you guys run the different ones. It'll have some that'll work, then some, there it is. See, Jesus. You guys will figure out if you start doing this more. Some of these companies are just kind of a pain in the ass when it comes to this. Like, they'll have the whole setup, the whole gun. You can put it all together. You know, you're using the same 2 tools the whole time, and then right at the very end, it's some other Allen key or something that they don't give you and you probably don't have. It's just a pain. So we'll go ahead and lock this guy in. Okay, so a lot of times what people will do is they have this problem where they leave it all the way loose, and then when they put it into the M-lock and they try and tighten it, what ends up happening is it does what it's supposed to do and it rotates. Then they can't pin it down to get it to stop rotating, and now they have problems. So I try and get it as close as I can to where it doesn't want to go in, and then that way I can just do what I just did and quick, boom, done. Okay, so we got that on. Now we need to get this optic on. It's all gonna start with the optic itself and the Unity mount. So we got to put this Unity mount on the optic to the Unity mount first, because it ain't gonna let you do it. If you notice, you have these screws here. These screws are the ones that keep it onto the 1913 pick rail, and we need to get those out to be able to put the actual Holosun on top of the Unity. So let's get into this, get these screws out, which means if they're screwed in, there's probably a nut or piece on the other side. So make sure that you know where all your pieces are and where they're going. What is kind of cool about this Unity mount is, get this stuff out, cool. It actually has, it's probably hard to see, but it actually has a rear sight. That's kind of cool. I like that, even though he doesn't have a front sight. That's a cool addition. Really, really, really cool. All right, so got some screws here. Okay. And they got some screws here. So we're gonna run their screws and see what happens. Get out the old trusty knife. Okay, cut that open. All right, apparently need to sharpen the old trusty knife. Okay, and let's check these screws. Do these have Loctite on them? They do. So these already have, even though it's going to be hard to see. Yeah, it's hard to see, sorry, but trust me, they have already got the blue Loctite on. So now we need to, excuse me, marry that up. Where's me flashlight? There's me flashlight. And that looks good. Okay. All right. Now let's start putting these guys on. So hold that guy upright as I push it down, push it down, push it in. Awesome. At least that'll give me the first one, right? Okay, cool. Got the first one. Now that I got the first one, I'm going to go across from that. Here's our second one. Awesome. Awesome. And that should be right. Cool. Looking good. Just making sure I didn't put it on wrong, because sometimes you can. And I don't want this whole video where I built this, put it together, and I did it wrong. So here we go. Here's our next screw. Good. Last screw before we put this guy on. And that one is going here. Okay, good. I'm sure it's one of those things of don't over tighten like normal. Don't give you a speck of that, but don't do it. So, last one. Cool. All right. So now we're going to put the 2 screws that hold that unity mount to the actual 1913 pick rail. We're going to put it back together because we don't need it completely apart. Okay. Get in there. Now they also have some Loctite on their screws, which is nice. That's less that I got to use because I already used too much. Okay, now I got it. Awesome. So now when I mount this thing, generally what I do is I try and mount it as far forward with the actual action, as I possibly can. I never want to mount half of it or part of it on the upper receiver and part of it on the handguard, because the handguard can turn, it can flex, it could do other things, and it's going to throw stuff off. So I keep it on the actual upper receiver all the time. I don't even, nothing else. So when I see people do all this stuff where half of it's on the receiver, half of it's on the handguard, and then they're like, well, it never stays zero. Well, there's a reason for that, believe it or not. Once you get the optic on, okay, there's going to be a little bit of movement forward and back. What you're going to do is you're going to shove that thing as far forward as you possibly can. Keep pressure on it. When you do that, you're then going to tighten down the screw to lock it in. Okay. Okay, there we go. Boom, now this thing's on. It's nice and snug. Time for the last part. We have reached the end. It is time to marry the 2 together. There it is. Pin. Pin, we have a complete gun. Good to go. Oh, that was so smooth. I like it. I really do like that rear sight in there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, man. All right, I got some targets over there. We're going to make sure good, clear. Okay, good. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that. All right, so one more time with that magazine. This doesn't enhance anything for me because I'm a lefty, so I got to still smack it anyway to get it off. No big deal, but I like it. I like it. It's a really good little setup there. Fairly lightweight, especially compared to my Infidel Mod 2. I'm working on the Mod 3 right now from mainly, I built this one from scratch. That one is mainly coming from Foxtrot Mic products. We're trying to make some cool things happen there, but lightweight, ready to go, 16 inches. It's what everybody wants, right? I mean, some of us, we have to go with pistols, but it's just the way it is. Here you go, Darius. Your build is done. Your build is complete. I have done my part. Till next video, I am Sarge Mayhem, and I am out. We are working on that AR9 next, man. It's on the deck. It's going on the deck.